the cityhood movement, a local government arms race that for the past decade has been reshaping the political, economic, and racial landscape of Metro Atlanta. Between 2005 and 2015, 8 unincorporated neighborhoods in Georgia's 3 largest counties, Fulton, Gwinnett, and DeKalb, voted to form their own cities. In doing so, they rejected the county's political leadership and withdrew much of their resources from the county's tax pool. For those left behind in unincorporated parts of these counties, however, the cityhood movement has been disastrous. The withdrawals of wealthy enclaves have left county governments with a recurring and unpleasant choice: raise taxes or provide less. These losses have exacerbated racial inequality in an area that was found in a landmark 2013 study to be one of the nation's worst for economic upward mobility. All of these new cities, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote in 2015, have become mostly white islands of safety and affluence. What's remaining is heavily black and less well off. In 1950, Atlanta Mayor William Hartsfield had annexed the white suburb of Buckhead in order to preserve a 2-to-1 white voting majority in the city and to expand the city's tax base, all part of Atlanta's plan of improvement. It worked. Atlanta became a thriving and diverse southern metropolis. By 1961, Hartsfield was bragging about the city's combination of racial progressivism and booming business. He dubbed Atlanta the city too busy to hate. Hartsfield had indeed established a political coalition of racially moderate Democrats, white business leaders, and black voters that outpaced much of the South in its relative racial harmony. This coalition, however, also birthed a vehement opposition movement of working and middle-class whites who wanted no part of Atlanta's expansion. So, in 1965, when Hartsfield, by then out of office, attempted to replicate the success of the Buckhead annexation, things did not go as smoothly. Hartsfield wanted Atlanta to annex Sandy Springs, a majority-white, wealthy neighborhood just outside the city limits in Fulton County. He was met with outrage and obstruction. 2 spokesmen for Sandy Springs promised to build up a city separate from Atlanta and your Negroes, and forbid any Negroes to buy or own or live within our limits. In his 2005 book, White Flight, Princeton historian Kevin Cruz tells the story of this white counter-coalition and the effects of their resistance on conservative politics, not just in Metro Atlanta, but nationwide. White Flight, Cruz writes, was a political revolution, one that saw white Southern conservatives abandon their traditional, populist, and often starkly racist demagoguery, and instead craft a new conservatism predicated on a language of rights, freedoms, and individualism. Throughout the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, Metro Atlanta's whites employed this new, ostensibly colorblind language to resist integration and preserve their race-based advantages. In some cases, though, it was easy to read between the lines. In 1975, for example, one Cobb County leader quipped that suburban whites in his area thought of the Chattahoochee River as a moat that protected them from Atlanta. "They wish they could build forts across there to keep people from coming up here," he said.